Thank you for choosing Canon IPF large format printers. I will be showing you some of the features of the Windows printer driver. The topics that we'll cover are the easy settings, which are pre-configured for common output types, advanced settings for more precise printing, how to select borderless printing, using the free layout tool, how to set up favorite settings for common output types, using the Get Information button to determine the paper type and size that are loaded into the printer, how to access some of the printer utilities to do nozzle checks and get status of your printer, and lastly, the Print Preview button to make sure that your print will come out properly on the roll. Using the easy settings in the Canon large format printers makes printing large format documents very simple for even the most basic of users. As you can see on the screen, depending on what you choose for an output type, whether it be a poster, a CAD drawing, a photo, an office document, it will give you different selections on your print quality. If we choose photo, we can choose the high quality, draft quality, or standard quality. Also for CAD drawings, you have the same basic options. It varies depending on also the paper type. So if we move from plain paper to, say, a photo paper, you can see that some of the stuff is blocked out because typically you won't be printing a CAD drawing on photo paper. Switching over from easy settings to advanced settings brings up a whole nother list of options for us for print quality. We can choose our print priority, whether it's image, a line drawing, text, or an office document. We can choose our print quality, high, standard, or draft, and we can also choose our color mode, whether it be color or monochrome. Along with this, we can dig down into the color settings and change different brightnesses, contrast, saturation, along with changing different color tones. So if we want to add more cyan to our print or more magenta to our print, and you can see in the preview image to the left that that also changes when we do that. We can change that sample type if it's a portrait or landscape, and that way we can see how different color is going to affect the image. After we finish up getting our image settings correct, we'll move on to the Page Setup tab. Inside the Page Setup tab is where we will set up what size print we want. Inside the Canon driver, we have a very neat feature, which is Borderless Printing, which is simply clicking the box for Borderless Printing, telling it what size roll we have. We can now make a borderless print. We can rotate that print. We can, from portrait or landscape, fit the paper size or scale to fit the roll width. Once we get the page setup done, we'll move on to the Layout tab. Inside the Page Layout tab, we have a few different options and choices of what we can do with our print. If we leave it standard, it's going to print one page per sheet. Otherwise, we can go up into Page Layout, and we can select how we want to print. If we want to do it 2 pages per sheet, 4 pages per sheet, all the way up to 16 pages per sheet. The other option in this is Free Layout, which works kind of like a nesting option. When we select Free Layout, it's going to tell us that the free layout will start when we print. So we'll just quick go through and hit print so we can take a look and see what that free layout's going to be like. Once the free layout screen opens, you can see it took all of my drawings and tiled them nicely through this page. There's a lot more options that we can do while we're inside free layout. Let's say one of the drawings that I want to format to be a different size. I can choose scaling 50%, and it will now move that to 50%. I can move these images all over the page anywhere I want. If I want them to overlap, I can bring this one to the front, take some of the image off the page if need be, or rearrange the drawings however I feel is necessary. Moving on to the next tab is the Favorites tab. Within the Favorites tab, we have all sorts of different options that we can do. We can make new favorites, which will then apply all the settings that you do for all the prints. So if we go back to the main screen, and let's just make a new one. If we tell it we have photo paper, we want the highest quality because it's going to be photo, and color, and we go to the Favorites screen, we can then add a favorite and call it, let's say 16 by 20 photo. Add the icon so it looks like a photo and click OK, and now we have a 16 by 20 photo. So every time I go to print, instead of going in and doing my page setup, layout, and getting everything set, I can simply open this up and click on one of my favorites, hit Apply Favorite, and it will then apply all those settings, and we're ready to print. Another neat function with this is that if you have a large office that has many users and you're typically printing the same type of files or same size files, you can actually export these files out as config files and then import them back in. So you can make 20 different page setups, export those out, and then share them with the rest of the company so everybody has the same thing. And that way every time you go to print, it's simply opening up the driver, going to Favorites, selecting your favorite, apply that favorite, and you're ready to go. Now we're into the Utility tab of the driver. Inside the Utility tab, we can perform some basic maintenance right from the driver itself. Once we click on the Maintenance tab and go through, you'll see that we have the nozzle check print. We can do print head adjustment, print head cleaning, paper feed adjustment, along with going in and getting some information from the printer. If it's a status display to show the different status and settings that are on the printer, we can do a job log display, make a print menu map, and some of the paper detailed settings that are inside the printer. These are all functions that you can do from either the driver or from the printer itself, and that are embedded inside of the printer. The last thing we'll talk about before we're ready to go to print is the Print Preview button. On the main screen, when you first open the driver, by simply checking the box Open Print Preview, this is going to open a preview of the job before the job starts to print, so you can make sure that the print is going to come out exactly how you want it. So once that's all set up, we're going to hit OK like we're going to print. Once the Print Preview opens up, you'll see that it shows a nice image of what the roll is going to look like. So we know that this print is going to come out correct on our roll. Although there are some spaces at the top and bottom that aren't necessary, so simply by clicking no spaces at top or bottom is going to reduce those so we have a edge-to-edge print without any wasted paper. We can also rotate that image if we want to print it upside down on this off the roll of paper. But you can see with this function and this feature, you can make sure that every time you go to print, your print's going to come out perfectly so you have no wasted paper or ink when you're printing. As you can see in today's demonstration of the Canon imagePROGRAF large format printer Windows driver, whether you're a basic user or a high-end user, printing large format documents is very simple using our drivers. Thank you.